stretch heading into the playoffs. I'm, I guess, excited to see Tom Brady in another playoff sort of scenario. Obviously, seeing the Buccaneers, especially with Tom Brady, is always very exciting to see. But then being 8-8, soon to be a different sort of number at the end of tonight, or I guess it's already happened. Still kind of sucks to see. Maybe not an undeserving team, because obviously a lot of teams are deserving to make the playoffs, but as a division sort of clinching team going 8-8, maybe 9-8, maybe even 8-9 at the end of tonight. I think they play the Falcons tonight. I'm sure they're probably going to win that game though. Very interesting. Ranked 14th are the Pittsburgh Steelers, which are, let's see, are they still even in the hunt? Obviously, you guys would have already known what happened to them, but I'm looking for my own curiosity. Yeah, they're technically still on the bubble, still technically have a chance to make in the playoffs. I'm not too sure how likely that is. Obviously, the Detroit Green Bay Packer game is super essential for the NFC sort of look in the playoffs, but not even really too sure how the AFC can sort of switch up all that much. But the Pittsburgh Steelers ranked above Tom Brady and the Buccaneers heading into the playoffs. Very interesting. And we have the Giants ranked next as our next playoff team. Right now having a record of 9-6-1. Next week, their final matchup against the Eagles, which I don't know, obviously with the Eagles, maybe sitting some players, maybe taking the scheme a little bit easy, because of course they have a very, very, very high chance of still continuing being that number one seed in the NFC. But of course, you always want to, play good, play your best, as good as you can be heading in the playoffs. Make sure you're hitting the playoffs on a good little run with them. The Giants, next ranked team. I do think they're okay. We're going to talk about them obviously for contenders and pretenders, but they are young and I think a little too inexperienced, but as the next ranked team in the power ranking, not bad. That was rank 13, rank 12. We have the Baltimore Ravens going down 2 spots, nearly being in the top 10 before. Obviously, probably because of Lamar Jackson and him being injured, which maybe if you can comment it down below if you do know. If Lamar Jackson is going to be ready for the postseason, their first postseason game, I would really, really like to know, because, man, without Lamar Jackson, even for one game, that team is extremely beatable, which is terrifying to think about. Their last game of the season is the Bengals. Ooh, that's probably going to be a loss, because the Bengals right now are kind of playing on fire right now. The Ravens are 10-6. They're in the 6th seed right now, second in the AFC North. Ooh, man, that's definitely going to be pretty close. 11th, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Wow, a team that is 12-4, ranked 11th according to the professionals on NFL.com, going down from being in the top 10 to 11th, just out of the top 10. Wow, that's crazy. They actually had a big blowout loss to the Green Bay Packers, 41-17 in the last matchup, and then this week they went up against the Chicago Bears. Again, this game is already done and over with. The Bears are extremely out of the playoffs now, so I do think the Vikings will end on a dub to enter the postseason, but making it outside of the top 10 is sad. Sad for them. That team had really high hopes, and was another team that was playing pretty on fire at the early starts of the season. Number 10, sneaking in the top 10, a top 10 team. Do you believe this? The Detroit Lions. Okay, Detroit again in that pivotal game against the Green Bay Packers, basically. If one team wins, sending a bunch of team home. If another team wins, sending a bunch of team home. It's kind of a nice last game, but I do know that if the Seahawks Chargers, just praying good things happen to them. Again, they just beat a very good playoff team, set team in the Minnesota Vikings by a pretty good margin. And right now, another team I would say that is playing on fire right now, especially since the very slow start of the season. Now that, again, kind of like Detroit, eyes are on the playoffs. That spot's open, so someone has to take it in. Green Bay, in my opinion, is probably the favorite. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 8. They actually just clinched their position into the playoffs, beating the Texans. Last night, you guys are watching this video, and I actually watched like the second half of that game on and off, and then the end of the fourth quarter. I watched the entirety of it because a lot of very fun plays. Like there was a fumble and for a return touchdown that was pretty pivotal in that game, and I think the Texans had the last sort of attempt, the last drive, and had to return the ball over, which kind of sad, but not if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, which is pretty cool because I think last season they had the worst record in the NFL, and then this year during the playoffs, which obviously having a very good quarterback kind of, and Trevor Lawrence kind of gets you there. At 7, we have the LA Chargers. Since the Rams wanted to be dog duty this year, they're kind of the team I'm rooting for this year. And as you guys know, I went to SoFi Stadium, watched a Chargers game. It was a lot of fun. And at 10 and 6, at least for right now, as I'm recording this video, again, their game is already done and over with. They faced the Broncos in their last game, which I think hopefully should be a W. Maybe we'll have to see. I think that's a good spot for them. They're definitely a top 10 team, and I think they are not a top 5 team. So I think anywhere from like 6 to 10, it's a very reasonable spot for the LA Chargers. They're a team that is very wishy-washy. Sometimes they look like a Super Bowl contender, maybe even winner, and sometimes look like a first-round outing. We'll have to see what happens with them. Then at number 6, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh, man, probably one of the most hyped teams to enter the postseason, as they always are, because obviously they're like the most popular team in the NFL, probably. Let's see, they are the 5th spot right now, going up against the Washington Commanders in their last game, which, in my opinion, is still kind of a toss-up game. The Commanders were a playoff team, almost set in stone at the beginning of the season and for a vast majority of the season. But with Dak fully healthy and that team still looking pretty good, I think you could probably argue them being a top 5 team, and maybe you even would argue them being a top 5 team. But at number 5, the NFL.com Professionals has the Philadelphia Eagles at 5, going down from 2 to last week to this week. Number 5. Wow. Again, we were sort of just talking about the Eagles very briefly there for a second, kind of early on there. A team that's, again, not really striving to be 100% perfect at the end of this year. Again, sort of having a lot of miscues and mess-ups here and there, which I guess happens for a team that I guess everyone has their eyes on, obviously being the best, record team in the, well, actually tied right now with multiple teams, but at one point in time, we're almost going undefeated for the year, and I think still have a lot of hype around them. I still love Jalen Hurts, that team, so that's probably the best, or at least one of the best defenses in the NFL, and really is very dangerous, but even now playing for a purpose, which might be one of the most terrifying things to go up against a team that's playing with a purpose. And obviously with the Bills, with DeMar Hamlin, they are gonna be going into this postseason with heavy hearts, but also with a lot on their sleeve, and they're really gonna, try to win it all, definitely for their teammate, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how well they can play. Then at number one leaves us the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, the 49ers, as of the final week of the NFL, the number one team in the NFL. I don't know. Going in at 12-4 on the season, at least until their final game, which they are going up against the Cardinals, which should be a win. So they're probably, as of right now, 13-4. If not, they're 12-5. Still a very good record. Scrappy defense, good offense, definitely a lot better offense than last year. Obviously, it does suck what happened with Jimmy Garoppolo, but still managing to find a way to be one of the top teams in the NFL. And according to the ESPN and their officials and their writers and the guys who make the big bucks, the number one team in the NFL. Interesting. Alright, so now I'm at the part of the video where you probably clicked on the video, the contenders and pretenders. Now, I am not a big time watcher of the NFL. I definitely try my best when recording videos to try to make somewhat sense on things that I see, things that I read, things that I watch a lot on ESPN and read a lot on some other people's opinions. But I think I can lock in a couple answers, and I think that some teams are still on the bubble when it comes to being contenders and pretenders. Now, I think the first contender we can talk about is kind of stupid, is of course the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, just talking about them still having one of the best offenses in the NFL, still having, again, the best player in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes, still the best home field. They are still, in my opinion, very likely to make it all the way. I'm not going to say my picks yet, because tomorrow will be my picks for the NFL playoffs, but they're going to be a terrifying team, and I need to see the matchups that they go up against, because obviously last year they were probably also the favorites to win it all, and ended up getting upset by the Bengals, so obviously that can happen. But this year, having that upset against a very young, up-and-coming team in the Cincinnati Bengals, they might be locked in more than ever, so going to be a very scary team to face in the playoffs. They're going to be contenders no matter what. And another contender of mine, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, are almost at the same level as the Kansas City Chiefs, definitely when it comes to offense, even when it comes to quarterback star power, and Josh Allen, who might also be a contender for the NFL MVP. Both teams still looking really great. The Bills are fourth when it comes to points per game, second in points allowed, second in total yards, sixth in passing yards, seventh in rushing yards, fifth in yards allowed. You get the gist. Pretty much top 5, top 10 in every sort of category in stat-wise, and they are also a team that, when it comes down to Chiefs, Bills, Bengals even, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, who's going to make it to the Super Bowl. That division is so stacked with star power and potential. It's terrifying, because whoever is going to be, at least in my opinion, that in that AFC title game, it's probably going to be the favorite to win it all, which is kind of scary to think about. But that might be the most important game of the entire playoffs, is that AFC championship game. Could it be the Chiefs and the Bills? We'll have to see where the matchups are and sort of where they stack with each other, but that's going to be really fun. Which gives us our actually first pretender that I kind of want to get to. I don't want to do all pretenders and all contenders. I want to mix it in a little bit. I think the first pretender that some people might get mad at me about, which is totally fine. Again, I'm dumb, stupid, wrong. It's just my own opinion. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings. This team Jackson is just really bad. That this guy still has to be out for a lot of time, and I still don't know if he's going to be playing. If you guys are getting commented down below, let me know down in the comments. But even if he is playing, coming back from an injury in his first game being a playoff game, that's tough. That's definitely pretty terrifying in my opinion. Now, again, it'll depend on matchups and who faces who, but I don't know, man. That's man, if they were fully healthy for a majority of the season, even the last couple weeks, I would probably maybe even call them a contender, but it's just the fact that they've just been so wishy-washy. I can't really, again, bet my money on them being a Super Bowl contender. You know what? I'm going to say pretender. I'm also going to say the Buccaneers with Tom Brady. I just don't think that team is just as well-rounded as the last time we saw Tom Brady win it all on the Buccaneers. The NFL is just too good. All these other teams are just so well-rounded. The Buccaneers are actually 24th when it comes to points per game, but 8th in points allowed. So the defense has actually been holding it down, and then 2nd in the entire NFL in passing yardage. So Tom Brady looking good, their defense looking good. Again, they're just not as well-rounded as you would like to be. Again, when it comes to points or even rushing yards, they're dead last in the NFL, ranked 32nd. Could they win their first game? I think yes, but calling them a contender, probably not. Some contenders, though, of course, the Eagles with Jalen Hurts and that defense that they have, even their offensive players, some of their wide receivers are really good as well. I definitely see them as a team that I won't doubt that a lot of people have them picking to make it out of the NFC side of the bracket. But that's going to come down to another team who I think is going to be their biggest rival, the 49ers. And I also have the 49ers as a contender. And that is going to be a very good matchup if they do end up facing each other for that championship NFC title game. That's going to be really sick. Obviously, again, the 49ers being known for mostly their defense being number 1 in the NFL in points allowed, 5th in total yards, 12th in passing yardage, 9th in rushing yardage, 2nd in yards allowed. This team is, I would maybe even say, maybe one of the best well-rounded teams in the entire NFL. And I can see why the NFL.com guys have them ranked as the best team as of right now in the NFL. They just do it all, and it's pretty crazy. So them and the Eagles, I would definitely say are contenders, and they will probably have to face each other in that NFC bracket. We'll have to find out in tomorrow's video. Another team that I would really love to call a contender, I can't, and that's the LA Chargers. I think the LA Chargers are just such a roller coaster of a team that sometimes it looks like a team that could win it all. A team that could literally beat Kansas City, the Bills, the Eagles. They look like they can beat any team in the league. And then sometimes they look like a team that probably shouldn't even be highly thought of as they are. But, man, Justin Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He has one of the best arms in the NFL. The rest of that team's offense is really good. 13th in points allowed, 9th in total yardage, 5th in passing yardage. Like, that's pretty solid. But again, I think they're just too much of an up-and-down team. I think you just need to get Justin Herbert a little bit more time in play time in an NFL playoff game scenario. Next year, this team's going to be very dangerous. But this year, I don't think I'd bet my money against some of the other bigger time contender guys. The Bengals, of course, are contenders. They have definitely put it into high gear to end off this season. I really thought that team was really going to be struggling a lot, sort of having that Super Bowl slump, I think that's what it's called, or whatever. The losing team of the NFL's Super Bowl is usually pretty bad the following season, and the start of this season it looked like that was going to be happening with the Bengals, but again, revved it up for the end of the year, and I'm going to give them the contenders pass. And then we have the last team, the Dallas Cowboys, and for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm mostly going to be giving them a pretender. They're kind of like the Packers, where I don't think I can really say which way. It's just more or less the meme of the Cowboys and them always being so highly to see them